Ooh.
Dumb.
He said dumb it.
All right. So we're a little tight this week and next week. So that's why we asked for topics, was because I'm going to be going to Florida, plus fall camp is starting. So we're literally recording today, tomorrow, and then one more next week. For the next 3 weeks, you're getting the videos.
Yeah, gonna be a busy recording week this week, but it's always fun doing so.
Yeah.
How do you check that shit? What if people said anything?
So click on it,
Yeah.
and then let me see.
Because I was trying to do that, see if anybody said anything, and I was just like, bro, I don't know how this Instagram shit works.
Oh, dude, just text me and I can do it. Or I can always do it because I feel like you already do enough anyways. And then, like, if you ever need me to do stuff, just text me and I'll literally do it. Here. Yeah. And then just read. Those are the ones we got.
Where? Oh, a Drake fan throws a 36G bra at him. Oh, a 36G bra at him.
Oh my god. Okay, we'll talk about Drake on that girl's podcast.
Huh?
You didn't see that?
So Drake, the white one?
Yeah.
In bed?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, thank you. Like, she talks super fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, he was turned too.
Yeah.
Because he drank, he was telling the cocktails that the guy was making for him. So anything like with fruit and then vodka. That's all it was. So like he's like, yeah, this one's watermelon and vodka. You want some? So then she drank. He's like, let me completely match the energy. And he's like, let me just drink from where you drink from. Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, what was and then she's like, how much cash could you give someone?
Oh yeah,
to,
he's just
like just to give.
Mm-hmm.
She's and then I forgot what happened after that, but.
And no, the crazy thing for me was that she missed her daughter's birthday. I don't know if that was real. Yeah, I don't know if that's real.
To interview him?
Yeah, I don't know if that's real, but yeah, that's what she says, that I'm missing my daughter's like first birthday for this. And then he's like, oh, do you want me to say something? Or, here, let me make her a voice message or something. So he's like, hey, Cement, happy birthday. But your mom wanted to spend it with me and not you.
Damn.
So hopefully you enjoy. And then she's like, can you send some money? So he's like, yeah, I'll send you $100. He's like, you could send more. He's like, no, $100.
He said no, just $100. Oh, that's funny. But that 36G bra, bro.
I didn't see that.
You haven't seen the clip?
No.
So he was, so he wasn't on stage, but he was like walking from one of the seat row tunnels.
Okay.
To come out into like the stadium or wherever he was.
Okay.
And I don't know where this was at.
Okay, so like let's say we're in Soldier Field, right? Where the Bears walk out.
United Center.
Or the United Center?
That's more accurate to where he was.
So the United Center is like where the Bulls run out of?
And you walk out. No, you walk out and then like where the seats are at. And then you just walk out those like openings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
so he walks out one of those and he's walking down. And then he's on like ground level where his stage is at.
Okay.
And then some girl throws her bra at him. And there's actually a video of like the girl's friend recording the girl that did it.
Yeah.
And then he like picks it up and it's just dangling down. He's like, who wears a 36G? And then he's like, go find this lady for me or something like that. And then in the video of the girl's friend that was recording the girl, she's like, that's my bra. That's me. She's like fucking freaking 8 or out. 10 people back.
Yeah.
Behind the row or like the little fence.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like jumping up in the air and shit.
Yeah.
And then he's just holding it up like, what the fuck? It was a big ass bra. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
happy I didn't see all that, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. So, my beard is gone, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Explain why it's gone.
So, I was trimming it today. Like, I was just trimming my mustache because it was just getting really long. It was like going over my lip.
Oh, I hate that.
And I hate that. So I was just trimming it like how I usually trim it. Yeah. And then I was just lining up the side, but I ended up getting like completely missing and I made a huge bald spot. So then I was like, dude, this looks so dumb. I really wish I could have saved it, but I couldn't. It was just way too high up and like the bald spot was just that bad.
Damn.
So then I trimmed the beard only. Like I just only got rid of the mustache. I only got rid of the mustache and kept the beard.
Yeah.
Because the bald spot was on my my mustache and like my beard area, so like right here.
Yeah.
So then I was just like, all right, let me just trim the mustache and then let's see how it looks. I might look like freaking Chimaev. And then like I'd look at it, I was like, everyone just starts flaming me at the house. They're like,
Damn.
bro, you look so dumb. Just get rid of it.
Head edge it.
So I was like, bro, that video is so funny, bro. It's all over my TikTok.
Oh, that's so funny. He's like, catches it. He's like, damn. And then he's like, you ladies, y'all,
Y'all ladies all right?
y'all ladies, all right? Head edge it.
Head edge it. And no,
Oh,
the sound
that's
of it,
funny.
like the sound is hilarious though. It's just
Yeah,
like,
I forgot the sound, but
yeah, it's like it's just like sped up like bumbleclat,
bumbleclat,
bumbleclat.
bumbleclat.
Yeah,
Just one of those meme sounds, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, that video is so funny.
but yeah. So then I trimmed it down because everyone was just flaming me. Now like I was just texting somebody about it. I'm like, bro, I literally feel emasculated because
yeah.
I couldn't think of the word.
Yeah.
So I did just completely demasculated me because I don't know, like having a beard just makes you look like a man,
I mean, it's like one of the biggest difference between
a man
males
and a woman.
yeah,
Exactly.
so,
And now that it's gone, it freaking sucks.
yeah.
But I have that 5 o'clock shadow right now, so it is what it is.
5 o'clock shadow.
It just means like the stubble's like green, or like the stubble's really noticeable.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Kinda
that's
like
what I have right now.
The non-tan skin.
Yeah, dude.
Under the
freaking-
beard.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy I don't have that. But
I'd be having that sometimes.
really?
Like on my mustache, yeah.
Oh, that's
like
why you be
above
growing
my
it out?
lip. Yeah, because I remember I shaved it one time
Mhm.
and it was like low key like white, bro. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, nah.
Yeah, it's been a whole year for me like not seeing my face.
Yeah.
So it just feels weird, and like
Yeah.
now that I look at my face, I'm like, bro, why is my chin all the way down here?
Yeah.
So
Remember when I grew my shit out before my girl came,
yeah,
and it was like actually long.
Mhm.
I remember I shaved it while she was here,
and it was like white.
and yeah, it was
Yeah.
like all like under my lip was fine,
Mhm.
and then above my lip it was just like out here on the sides it was like
Yeah.
white, like not tan. I was like, fuck.
The only place like I only noticed it, and like the only reason I noticed is because I just noticed it is just like on my sides, like here and here,
Mhm.
is that it's just a little bit lighter, but
Yeah.
everywhere else it's just like
Yeah.
regular skin tone. I'm not even that dark, so
Not in the face.
yeah. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, dude, it was really sad, bro. I was literally on the verge of tears, bro. It was dude, I was just so mad my beard was gone.
Because that's one of the things about you, man. It's just like Maz, oh, the guy with the beard.
Oh, the
you
dude
know?
with the beard? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
his beard's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Head edge it.
your ladies all right?
Shit. What happened 2 nights ago?
Oh, dude.
Oppenheimer.
Oh no, I watched it last night.
Oh, you last night, me 2 nights ago.
Dude, Oppenheimer. Oh my god, bro. Cinema. Like I was telling my brother too, because me and my brother were supposed to watch it, but his time switched. So like they switched his time to 9:20 and mine was at 10. Yeah, it was
Why?
weird. Yeah, I have no idea. It's because we both bought the 10 o'clock one, but then he called me at work, and he was just like, "Yo, did your time change?" I was like, "No."
That's so what?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
So we went to the movies, or I went by myself.
So you bought them online, right?
Yeah.
And they just switched.
Him to the 9:20. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so weird. I've
I
never
know.
heard of that.
Yeah, it sucked. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. My dad watched it too, but he watched it at a different time too. So all three of us are at the movies at different times. But so
That's crazy.
that movie, like, okay, so my brother said it was slow, but he doesn't know Christopher Nolan movies,
He just doesn't. I don't think he also knows Oppenheimer, like what happened at that time either.
bro.
I'm sure
That
he
movie,
that at the end of that movie, like you ever watch Batman and you're just like, you just get a vibe from it.
Mhm.
I low key got like the same thing from that.
Oh,
movie.
dude, okay,
just like
so-
a sad, like
yeah.
dark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So giving the disclaimer now. We're gonna be giving spoilers to both movies of Oppenheimer and Sound of Freedom. So click off the video if you guys are gonna watch the movie.
Yeah, we'll probably be talking that a lot. So just literally click off the video.
Yeah, it's literally going to be a whole episode of Oppenheimer and Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
So, okay, so one thing I do want to say, though, is, well, there's a lot of things we're going to talk about.
Mhm.
But the first thing I want to talk about is how Christopher Nolan just did everything perfectly.
Yeah.
He made one of the most complicated topics
Mm-hmm.
of quantum theory
Yeah.
not even just quantum mechanics, it was quantum theory, which
Right.
is even harder.
Yeah.
He made one of the most hardest topics to understand
Yeah.
understandable,
Right.
which is really hard to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's one thing that I was really happy about,
Yeah.
was that I actually understood what was going on, and I think everybody, like the common folk, understood it.
Right. Yeah. Do you know how long it took for them to film that movie?
No idea.
Take a guess.
3 years?
2 months.
What?
Yeah.
Dude.
2 fucking months, bro.
Oh yeah, I was watching an interview with Cillian Murphy about it,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying that he got 6 months notice,
Yeah.
like as soon as he got the script, and he was reading the script, he's like, dude, this is like the best script I've ever read.
Yeah.
And this is the first movie he's actually led,
Yeah.
because he was Scarecrow in the Batman trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
and then he had his own lead role in Peaky Blinders.
Right.
Pinky Blinders.
Pinky.
But Peaky Blinders,
Yeah.
he
What
played a
was
lot of supporting roles, but he never had like the lead role.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the preparation for the movie took like a year or two, whatnot. But like the
He-
actual filming,
Took 2 months.
yeah.
Yeah, no, he got 6 months in advance. So like
Yeah.
from 6 months prior to them starting to film, he had to lose weight because
Yeah. Lose weight.
yeah,
Understand the character and all that.
yeah, and like he played it perfectly.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, dude, that movie completely got you thinking, bro. Like,
Oh my god. Yeah. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, I did not know they literally built a town in the middle.
they
of
built a
nowhere.
town in the middle of nowhere
Yeah.
just for, and like one thing they didn't include in the movie was that the 100,000 people that worked there, that were workers, had no idea what they were doing, or like what they were doing it
Oh
for.
really?
So like,
I know that.
for example, like the laundry lady,
Yeah.
that she was told to just basically when she was washing the clothes to like use like this toner thing. If she hears a click, then just write down that she heard a click. So she was just assuming, okay, maybe it's just because like certain people want theirs cleaner than others. In reality, it was to find out if the radiation got stuck to the equipment. But no one knew this until later on from
They
the
were
Manhattan
just told
Project.
what to do. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, and I mean, they did like even how, because Oppenheimer is known to be like terrible at experiments and like
Yeah.
terrible at math.
Yeah.
They completely brought that down to a T. It was great.
Oh yeah. The part I will say, for a 3-hour movie, it was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it at 10:45. Like, it started at 10:45.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got out. I was like, take me the fuck home, because I was just so tired. But I watched the whole movie. It was really good. But one thing I would say that kind of bored me was the like the court trial parts.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the most boring part for me was after the explosion happened.
Mm-hmm.
They had like, I don't even know how much time after the explosion happened, but like all of after that was like the court trials, and then finding out that the Strauss guy
Yeah.
was
Louis Strauss.
leaking. Yeah, he was like leaking everything, and I was just like, all right, this is kind of
Okay, I like the Louis Strauss parts, but I just think that the explosion happened way too early in the movie. I wish
it happened early.
Yeah, I wish it was a little bit later on in the movie.
I wish it was towards more like an ending kind of part to the movie.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand why they did so early, because they had to talk about his whole life.
Yeah.
And like how he went from being like the most world renowned scientist, like the Nobel Peace Prize winner,
Mm-hmm.
to completely losing his accreditation and
just
stuff.
being defamated. and
Yeah,
shit.
completely, like defamation. His credibility's completely gone.
Yeah.
What else? All of his secrets with like his mistress and everything were starting to come out.
Yeah, about being a commie. And shit.
Exactly. And then like even later on after that, like even when he became older, like how they gave him a medal
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I forgot about that scene. Yeah.
yeah. So like all of the stuff, like they had to basically start from when he was in Cambridge,
Yeah.
which is like 19, 20 years old, all the
Right.
way until he died, basically.
Yeah. Which
So-
is, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I would
And they
say,
did in 3 hours.
I would say the cool thing about the movie too, and it's always like cool to see a movie and you notice like actors or actresses from other movies you saw, but like the amount of like actors that I saw from other movies
yeah.
and shit
Yeah.
is like nuts. Like I saw like Strauss was Robert Downey Jr. Okay,
Yep.
that's Iron Man. the evil scientist from Stranger Things, he was in there.
Yep.
Green Goblin from The Amazing Spider-Man
He was there.
with Andrew Garfield.
Jim Gordon from the trilogy was there.
Yeah.
Roderick from
Yeah,
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Roderick. He was throwing up in one of the scenes. It was a
Yep.
guy throwing up, which was low-key crazy because, I mean, he had radiation.
No, that was
Poisoning.
okay. We're gonna talk about that, like the whole thing.
Josh Peck from
later
Drake
on.
and
Josh
Josh.
Peck from Drake and Josh.
There's
like-
definitely some other more people, but
what's his name? So a lot of people were mad because they were like, oh, Heisenberg should have been what's his name? Walt Whitman. Or so Heisenberg, do you remember Heisenberg from the movie? Okay, so Heisenberg, he was I was really analytical about this movie because I really wanted to watch it. But so Oppenheimer, when he went with one of his colleagues to
are you talking about the German guy?
the German guy,
Yeah, German
Heisenberg.
scientist.
So they
Yeah,
wanted
yeah,
him
yeah.
to be Heisenberg, Walter White. They wanted him to be Walter White
Oh yeah.
for as a meme. So I was like, no. he's like the most famous German actor
Yeah.
too. So, but okay, so that's what we're gonna talk about next is the radiation stuff. So that whole scene with him, like with the stomping, and then like him giving a speech, and then it's like all quiet, and then he like steps inside of like a completely burnt kid's
Oh,
body
yeah.
and all that, and then like he walks outside and sees like the radiation stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's him in his mind or if that actually happened,
Yeah, I don't know.
because no one should have gotten radiation like was it poisoning, radiation
Yeah.
poisoning, or like radiation effects from the bombing of like, or like the test trial,
Yeah,
because
that's
everyone
true.
was safe.
That is true, but I mean, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, and they
'Cause-
yeah.
What was the explosion scene too? It was like it's just silent. for, like,
Oh,
30
dude, and then a free jump scare.
Yeah. I was literally sitting here like this. I was like closing my ears. I'm like, it's gonna jump scare, bro, and I'm preparing for it. So
Oh no, I just knew it was gonna happen anyways, and I still jumped. I was like,
yeah, it was like, what was it? The Destroyer of Worlds.
I am. Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about that quote too. So that quote, there's like a deeper meaning behind it. So I don't believe in any of this stuff, but so basically Krishna, he's like the Hindu god, and it's in like Sanskrit. So he said, I am, but like when he showed himself like with all of his arms and stuff,
Yeah.
he said, I am now become death, destroyer of worlds. So that was the quote that he said
Oh, when creating
that the A bomb. That's what they called it, the
Yeah.
A bomb, atomic bomb.
I didn't know they were talking about creating the hydrogen bomb too.
They did, yeah. They talked about it, and
Yeah.
so we'll talk about that later too, because there's so much we can talk about. Like this movie was just that. There's so much information from this movie.
Yeah. And then the people who were against Strauss at the end,
Yeah.
and the guy mentioned JFK. I was like,
dude,
that was
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah, some guy who's trying to make a name for himself. What's his name?
John
JFK. John F. Kennedy. I was like, what?
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
But so that quote, it makes no sense. Like it didn't make any sense like when people first heard it until you do like a full like deeper dive into it. So it's basically saying that from this point on, I'm getting to, and like it's like the quote from the beginning of Oppenheimer where it talks about, I think it's like Prometheus or something like that.
Yeah.
God gave Prometheus fire or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like that same quote where from now until the end of time, I'm going to be death.
Yeah.
So his name is going to be written with the word death because he just created death.
Yeah.
So he's using that because it's the past, the present, and future all in one word.
Yeah.
And he's the destroyer of worlds because he's destroying different worlds.
Right.
So that's why that
Yeah.
quote really hit.
It's nuts. And then they had a theory about that the chain reaction would go on forever,
Oh my God. Dude,
and it could literally just vaporize the entire
that
Earth.
ending was crazy.
Yeah.
Because so the ending of the movie, because before all this happened, they were looking from Strauss's point of view of what he saw with Oppenheimer and Einstein. So then at the end of the movie, that same conversation was happening, but now you're hearing what Oppenheimer and Einstein are talking about.
Yeah.
And he said, do you remember when we were talking about when I showed you the calculations and like it can just be a non-stop chain reaction to where the whole atmosphere becomes plasma and just like so on and so forth, right? And he said, I think we have done that. Or like, I think that's what we have done or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or I believe that's what we did, because now if you think about it, he basically just created, or what they just did is that they created a chain of reactions
Mm-hmm.
to completely destroy the world, because like with all the bombs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the symbolism is like the puddle from the beginning of the movie with like the raindrops,
Mm-hmm.
and then the puddle, or like the pond at the end with the raindrops.
Yeah.
It symbolizes what he was seeing in his mind as bombs getting dropped on the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so much to like completely.
Yeah. It's so nuts.
Yeah.
And then there was a story. I forgot who told the story. It was some like extra in the movie,
Yeah.
and I guess one scene took 3 days to make
Yeah.
because there was a line for Josh Peck to say in the movie,
Mhm.
but he literally said different lines to improvise like over 100, 200 times, and Christopher Nolan like kept making scenes until he said it right.
Yeah.
And when he said the right line, then it was like,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I think they're talking about when he was about to hit the button
yeah,
to like stop it or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's what took the longest.
yeah,
And the crazy thing is that like that explosion is real. It wasn't
Yeah.
CGI.
yeah. That's the other thing. It was that's crazy. And then they had that special IMAX camera.
30mm IMAX.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it in IMAX. I watched it in regular.
yeah. I think there's an IMAX theater around the Chicago area.
Yeah, but
It'd be cool to see, but not no fucking 3 hours again.
yeah, no. I mean, I'm definitely gonna watch it again, but
I might watch it again just to maybe better understand it, but
Yeah.
maybe like if it's on like my TV or
yeah,
some
probably.
shit.
But no, that movie, bro. I'm telling you, that movie, like, it got you thinking at
It
the end,
does, bro.
because that one guy just created the weapon of mass destruction.
He literally did.
Like, as soon as that happened, then the H bomb was created, which is like
Yeah.
4 times the radius of the A bomb.
Do
And
you know about the SAR bomb too?
oh, the SAR bomb, yeah, the one the
That's-
USSR tested.
That's literally the biggest explosion by any bomb. Like that's far greater than.
It went 120 miles each direction.
Yeah.
The SAR bomb, the USSR ran in 1965.
Yeah. This is this a crater? I don't know.
But okay, so while you're looking that up, I'm gonna talk about Miles or Teller. I forgot his first, Dr. Teller, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's the one that I hate the most in the movie. But so Dr. Teller, so in the beginning, like when they were doing like the Manhattan Project, like in the beginning,
Yeah.
he starts talking about the H bomb and like how you can use condensed hydrogen to create a bomb.
Yeah.
And everybody laughed at him, obviously, because like that theory just makes zero sense.
Just look at that graph. Look at the bubble and the size of the explosions, and then look at
That's crazy.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Imagine just countries just dumping that on each other, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine if nuclear war was that SAR bomb. Bro.
So I'm assuming Mike and Bravo are H bombs, because Hiroshima and Trinity. So Trinity was a test trial,
Yeah.
and then Hiroshima is the one that they actually dropped.
Right. Nagasaki.
So then Dr. Teller, they kept making fun of Dr. Teller, and then later on, as soon as then he quit or whatever, and then he's like, hey, you could keep working on, and then Oppenheimer's like, hey, you can keep working on your H bomb, whatever, and I'll meet up with you, whatever, cool, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So then in the movie, so then when the trials are happening and they're starting to try to find out if he's a Soviet spy,
Yeah.
they're like, so then they interview Dr. Teller, and Dr. Teller completely opted him out and was
Yeah.
like, I believe, like, he's a great doctor, like, he created the atom bomb and everything, but I do not trust him in this United States, or something along the lines of like him being a traitor.
Who said that?
What's his name? Dr. Teller, like the one with like the crazy bloated face.
Oh, like with the Russian accent?
Kind of. He looked like Russian. He just looked foreign.
Dr. Teller.
It was like something Teller. You're gonna have to look him up, but
I will. I can't put a name.
so then after that happened, he shook Oppenheimer's hand too, like saying, hey, I'm sorry that I did this, but no, like this is like the biggest op in history, because he completely opted him out for no reason. And then
he had a Russian accent.
yeah, Emily Blunt played great too as Kitty.
The wife?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the 15 or where she the 16, 17, 18 was crazy, where like so she was getting pressed by the prosecutor.
Oh yeah.
And then she's like,
yeah, she straight fucking
killed him.
yeah, dude.
Because so the guy kept pressing her about like, oh, you had a Soviet card, or like you had a communist card,
Yeah.
and then she's like, what are you talking about? It's been 16 years. Oh wait, no, 17. Oh wait, no, I believe it was 18.
Yeah.
And then he just shut up. It was
Yeah.
crazy. And then she's the one that was getting all mad at Oppenheimer. I'm still 100% with Kitty. Was that like,
Yeah, because they were just kind of like, oh, what do we do? And she's like, you do this.
you're
like,
playing the victim here. I don't know
Yeah.
why you want to completely turn yourself into a martyr.
Yeah.
You deserve this.
Right.
And then she's like, and then he's like, I don't know why he shook. She's like, I don't know why he shook Teller's hand and stuff like that. She's like, I would have spit in his face.
Yeah.
And then in the end of the movie, when Teller shook his hand,
Yeah.
and then she just stood there and stared at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, there's so much like in the movie that is just crazy. And like the dynamics or like the visualization that they used
Yeah. The black and white scene.
for what he and like for what he was seeing in his head.
Yeah.
All that they said that it was real, like no CGI. It was like paint. Like they were like throwing paint, like shards of glass, marble, stuff like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, like when he was in Cambridge and all the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were like weird.
Mhm.
It's like bro's like haunted by physics. Like,
Dude,
what?
yeah, no, like that's how these like big physicists and big like scientists like you think of like Einstein, Oppenheimer, all these Nobel Peace Prize winners, all of them, if you think about it,
Yeah.
they all what's it called? They all were really dumb when it came to science or like any type of training.
Yeah.
But like for example, Albert Einstein was terrible at math.
Right.
What's his name? Oppenheimer was terrible at lab experiments.
Mm-hmm.
But what they did was that they completely thought outside the box. Like they were thinking of stuff that cannot even be possible.
Right.
Because Oppenheimer is the one that created, or like, he's the one that understood that there's black holes and like how what's it called, supernovas happen.
Yep.
And like how like the gravity completely concentrates so much to the point where a black hole's created, so on and so forth.
Yeah. That's crazy. Albert Einstein was in that movie too.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the coolest things. That was like one of the things where it's like, all right, yeah, I kind of want to see that movie.
It's also crazy to think about that Oppenheimer and Einstein are in the same era.
Yeah.
So
It is crazy when you find out just certain like famous people in general were like alive and doing shit
At
during the
this
same
time,
Yeah. Yeah, that is crazy. What else about that movie, man? A lot of
the communist was the British guy that was
yeah.
telling them stuff, like the Soviets, about the stuff that they were doing.
Yeah. Then Florence Pugh.
Oh,
performance.
dude, bro, I had to look at like as soon as I saw both of those scenes, bro, my eyes went straight to a corner,
Yeah.
and I was just staring at that corner, bro. I was so zoned into that corner until like another thing I was gonna talk about was that the Florence Pugh stuff. So the sex scene is still in like all versions of the movie. But do you remember when both of them are sitting there naked
Yeah.
and like they're talking about like, oh, I can't see you anymore before she killed herself?
Yeah.
So like in the Middle Eastern countries and like South Asian countries,
That scene's out.
it's CGI'd. So like she has a dress. She's wearing a
Oh,
dress.
shit.
So it's like a black dress. It's a tight black dress from like her chest to her knees, basically.
Oh, respect.
Yeah. So because they made like I guess they just added CGI to just that scene. They kept the sex scene in, I think.
Okay.
But so yeah, no, she played a huge part because in real life that's what happened too. Because
Yeah. I guess
Oppenheimer almost killed himself too or he didn't kill himself. He didn't want to kill himself, but he added that her body to the depression that he already had from building the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
He added her body to the 200,000 people that died in the
Yeah.
So
I didn't. Yeah, that's crazy. I guess he was like a womanizer.
yeah,
He was like, he'd just be cheating on motherfuckers. But
yeah.
and then there was I didn't know that lady like killed herself, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and how she killed herself,
Dude, how she killed
that's-
herself is crazy.
fuck.
She took sleeping pills and then like drowned herself in the
Yeah,
tub.
yeah. She set pillows down and put her knees on,
Yep.
and then took pills and just held her face underwater. to
Yeah, and like
drown.
while she tried to get herself up, she grabbed her own head to keep
Yeah.
her down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is fucked. Like that's oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Like forcing yourself to go through that
Yeah.
because it's like
It's outrageous.
if you hang yourself, you just jump and you're just dealing with it.
You can't really stop yourself at that point.
But like when you're drowning, like it's in everybody's nature to stop themselves.
Literally, all you have to do is just put your head up, especially because she's in her own tub.
Exactly.
But what she did was that she grabbed her own head and kept it down
like,
while she's literally fighting her own hand.
Yeah.
And it's so realistic. It looks like it's someone else's hand, but it's her own hand pushing her down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so fucked.
Yeah.
And then what was it? He was like out in the middle of nowhere, and then his wife saw him like, crying about it and whatnot, and then she's like, "What the fuck?"
Oh yeah,
like,
she's like, why are you crying about it? And like,
yeah, like why you victimize like. Don't like victimize yourself from your own sin.
Oh yeah, that's what she said. She said, "Don't victimize yourself for your own sin."
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm with that.
And and like all this stuff with, I still can't get over the freaking the speech scene, that whole scene in general where like they're stomping, and like they're starting.
It's like the little tiny like gym basketball court thing. That scene was low key freaky for me because it goes silent, and then the lady's face is like her skin
start tearing off, and like you see while he's walking, he steps into the kid,
and then it like goes white and then normal, and everybody's gone.
Yeah, and then like you can see like some lady screaming, crying, like dude, and then what's it called? Then he goes outside, and then that's when he sees like Roderick throwing up.
Yeah.
And then when he was throwing up, it was not just throw up, it was like snot, freaking. Oh, dude, it was like bad.
Yeah.
And like you can see that like what he was seeing looks so real. I still can't tell if that was in real life or if that was just him, what he saw when when he met the president, and the president called him a crybaby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
Truman.
Yeah, Truman, because he was saying, he's like, because they were telling him to keep that the atomic program.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't do it. He's like, you look off. He's like, I feel like the blood is on my hands.
I feel like I have blood on my hands.
And then he literally grabbed a freaking handkerchief and he went like this. He's like, no one's gonna remember who built that bomb. Yeah. Everyone's gonna remember who dropped it.
And that was me.
And then he walked down. He's like, don't ever let that crybaby in again.
Yeah, he's like, get this crybaby out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can give a fuck. Yeah, that was the Gordon guy from Batman, right? Who played Truman. Yeah, I noticed. I was like,
yeah, dude. Oh man, what a movie, bro.
Yeah, that's not even just a movie. That's like an experience.
Like, it's Oscar worthy for everything. Best supporting characters. Yeah. Best lead actor.
Yeah.
Best soundtrack.
It definitely has the best supporting cast.
Mm-hmm.
Like just all the
Matt Damon's in it too.
Yep. Matt Damon. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the best casts for a movie this year.
And then not even that, like the cinematics of like everything, not just the bomb itself or like the explosions.
Yeah.
It's him thinking of stuff and like him seeing like that little kid on the floor. Like all the stuff that they did was just great.
Yeah. And then what was I gonna say?
Everything with Oppenheimer is gonna be Oscar worthy.
Yeah, it definitely has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that town too. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about that. They had 4 different sites, so they had Los Alamos, and then they had one in Chicago.
Yeah.
They had one in New York.
Yeah.
And then they had one in another area, and they were doing it by a rail system, and you made that X.
Yeah.
And then that middle area, I think that was Los Alamos. It was the middle area that they had it in.
Where they all like met up and shit.
Yeah. Or like where the transport went.
Yeah.
For like the plutonium.
Yeah. And then there was that one scene where everybody's celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
And some shit, and then they made 2 more bombs and loaded them up on the truck.
Yep, and then they left.
Yep. Yeah. I was like, you know where that shit's going.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that movie's, I highly recommend seeing that movie.
Yeah.
Whether you know about that shit or not, like me, I'm a history geek. I love like.
Man, I'm a science guy.
Yeah, like anything World War II related, I love like knowing about it and like watching it, hearing about it. But so I mean, I definitely went and saw that shit. So
for the regular normal human being, I would say it romanticizes science to the point where it makes you want to learn molecular theory, or like not even just molecular theory, but what's it called? Quantum theory, which is like the hardest science to like actually understand.
Yeah.
Because everything is possible with quantum theory.
Right.
It just trying to put it. He basically made a theory into real life.
Right.
And he even said, he's like, only theory can only take you so far.
Right.
So yeah.
And then he was explaining how everything's just empty space.
Yeah.
but like, it's just a clump of shit together.
Hmm.
But really, it's just like empty space, which is like, what the fuck.
And then like when both scientists were talking about when they split the atom,
Mm-hmm.
and then they both looked at each other, and he's like, "What are you guys saying?" He's like, "Me and him know exactly." Like both of them just looked at each other, and they're like, "Oh no." And then the student was like, "Bro, what are you guys talking about?" He's like, "One thing that they're gonna do with this is create a bomb."
Yeah.
And so
What do we do about it?
yeah,
Bomb.
a bomb.
Yep.
Yeah, they're making a bomb.
Destroy some shit.
And then so then also like seeing what Strauss saw at first, like making Strauss look like the good guy, making Oppenheimer look like the bad guy throughout the whole movie,
Yeah.
until the end to show that Strauss was completely delusional.
Yeah.
And like that conversation they both had
Mm-hmm.
was because it made it look like Einstein was mad at Oppenheimer because Einstein wanted the credit for the bomb.
Yeah.
But in reality, what happened was that Einstein hates Strauss,
Yeah.
and Einstein was telling him that be prepared because they're going to use your biggest accomplishment against you.
Yeah.
And he's like, this, they did that exactly to me.
Yeah.
So you can see that conversation and how it went. So it was crazy.
Yeah. That is nuts. Yeah, that movie is just.
There's so much to talk about in that movie,
There
but
is,
you have to
bro.
watch it.
Yeah, you have to.
It's a movie I'm gonna definitely watch again, but not in theaters.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it like on demand or some shit.
Yeah.
Or if it's on Hulu, Netflix, whatever.
So the other movie we wanted to talk about,
Yeah.
Sound of Freedom.
When you haven't seen,
Mhm.
one that I've seen,
Okay, so here I want to ask you, which one would you say is better, Sound of Freedom or Oppenheimer?
I'm gonna go Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Only reason is because just more money to go into the whole thing, and I think that. I mean, I don't want to say like one's more important than the other because they both cover like big events. Like one's literally ongoing.
Budget? Did you see the budget difference?
No,
So Sound of Freedom was 14.5 million. Oppenheimer was 100 million.
exactly, and you can literally see that between the two movies.
Okay.
If, when you go see Sound of Freedom, you'll see it, 100%.
Yeah.
But that movie, I didn't know this, so at the end of the movie, right? So you know how there's like post-credit scenes and shit. So there's literally like in the bottom right, there's a countdown. It's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay.
As soon as the credits run, it's like posting credit, whatever, 2 minutes and 30 seconds,
Yeah.
and everybody waited. And it was the leading actor in the movie, and he explains how the movie was actually made 5 years ago.
What?
It was made in 2018.
Really?
Yeah, bro. It was made
What?
5 years ago, but everybody was saying, no, don't publish it. No, don't. Like, you shouldn't do this. You don't.
So the lead actor saying this or the director?
Yeah, like the lead actor.
Oh, okay.
He's talking through the whole, like, post-credit scene. And he was like, yeah, like, this movie was actually made 5 years ago, but, people have always been saying, like, don't publish it. Like, it's not going to look good, or it's a bad look for Hollywood and shit.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, like, COVID happened and all that.
Yep.
So that was just like one of the craziest things I heard about it. Was like, this was made 5 years ago, and it's
Wow.
just being now like published.
And it's based on a true story too.
It is. I will say that movie is very powerful.
Okay.
Like there was a scene where, how do I describe this? So I'm gonna kind of go down kind of the storyline kind of quick on what
Okay.
happened. So
Yeah.
a dad takes his two kids to the supposed fashion tryout, like audition
Okay.
for Hollywood, for like magazines, like modeling and shit like that.
So like the big modeling gigs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this lady comes over to their house. Hey, your daughter looks really good for modeling and whatnot. Here's the audition. Bring her here. Bring her and your son to the audition place at 7, and then next day at 7 a.m. the guy brings his two kids to the room.
Okay.
And then he walks into the room, and the lady's like, no fathers in, while the room, just pick him up at 7 tonight.
Yeah.
So fucking 12 hours later or some shit, he comes back, goes to, he's banging on the door and shit.
Yeah.
And he opens it, nobody in the room, lights off, everything.
Wow.
Yeah. And so he's like freaking out. He's running down the hallway, banging on doors and shit, and he just runs out of the building, goes down the street, and just keeps running and shit, looking for everybody.
Yeah.
So pretty much kids are gone, shit like that. And then there's this guy named Tim Ballard. He's a real guy. He actually ended up saving like 120 kids from sex slavery.
Okay.
And pretty much he went on this mission to like South America to find this guy's kids.
Colombia, I think. It's in
Honduras.
Honduras. Okay.
Yeah. So at the U.S.-Mexico border, he finds the son.
Okay.
And then he's like, he realizes the son has a sister, and he brings the son back to the dad, and he makes it pretty much his mission in the movie to like go and find the daughter. So he goes down to I think it's Colombia, some South American country, and he meets with a couple other people to like help find this kid, this little girl, and pretty much there's this one scene where one of the guys he's with, it's like an older fat guy, and he pretty much like the the reason why he's like trying to do all this shit to like stop slavery and shit was because there was one time he was like partying one night and he like had a lot of alcohol and he was like fucked up, and he went home with a girl who said she was 25, and he did the deed with her and all that. And then he ended up realizing she was 14 years old.
Wow.
And she's been having sex with people since she was 6.
That's crazy.
And as soon as I saw that scene and what he said, I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
And then I noticed in the bottom right, I see a woman get up and start crying.
Wow.
Yeah. Like there's an emergency exit door, and then there's kind of like so there's like the door and then like a wall, and then another wall that goes like this, and then the staircases are on the other side. And she goes behind that wall and she's just crying. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. So it's a very like, there's moments that'll hit you like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene. It's like called a beach raid, or not called a beach raid, but it was a beach raid.
Yeah.
So they bought this island. So they go undercover and meet with like actual like pedophiles and shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, we're gonna purchase this island, and we're gonna make them. We're gonna make a hotel, or like a party like hotel place. For like pedophiles and shit to come, but they call them chickens.
Okay.
The little kids.
Yeah.
And they're like, we want you to bring 40 to 60 chickens.
Okay.
And pretty much they lure all these pedophiles and shit to pretty much arrest them and crack down and like save all the kids they bring.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, they actually show real footage and the real people.
Wow.
And the actual guy, Tim Ballard. Like, they actually show the real people in that beach raid because it was a real thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was so crazy. And, and then pretty much he's just like following all these clues and all these people to like reach this girl who ends up being in like one of, like those guerrilla camps in like the middle of nowhere in forest and shit.
Right.
She was like in some, like one of those guerrilla camp forest things. I think she was like in one of the first processes of making cocaine.
Okay.
Where you like step on the muddy leaves and shit.
Yeah.
She's like stepping on it. And he's disguised as like a doctor that like goes around towns to, give medicines and vaccines. Yeah. And that's how he gets into there. Yeah, but that movie's nuts. It's it'll definitely have you thinking.
Okay.
And they drop a lot of statistics and shit. And they say like right now in the world, like as we speak, like there's more people involved with slavery than there ever was in history.
Yeah. Your dad was talking about this. We were talking about this last week.
Yeah.
So he said the reason why it's getting so big, he's like, if you think of like drug dealing with like cocaine, speed, or any of like these big LSD, all these big drugs, is that it's manufactured, which means that if I sell you this cocaine, you're going to use it up and I have to go get more product.
Right.
And he said with these kids, with like these children, these pimps are buying like 3 or 4 or 5 of them, right? And he said he'll sell them off and then they'll bring them back. Yeah. So now instead of like pushing product, you're still pushing product, but you don't have to keep manufacturing them. All he has to do is just buy 3 to 4, 3 to 5. Yeah. So the profit margins are a lot higher. So like the way that he was describing it was just crazy to me, is that like people are that people are that messed up. Like
it's like it's fucked. Yeah. And it exposes like all that Hollywood shit because there's very famous people under the gun with child trafficking.
Like Oprah
Winfrey. Yeah. What was it? Henry
Steinfeld.
Nah. Something Stein or
Oh, he has an island, right?
Hypestein or something. No, not
Epstein?
Not Epstein.
Oh.
Some shit. I don't know. But pretty much Oprah Winfrey. The reason why she's like under the gun with that shit is because she has a school in Africa and a bunch of girls got raped by like the head of that by like the head of the school, and she like paid off for all the charges to be dismissed by him.
Yeah.
Which is like
not even that. She's like best friends with like she's buddy with one of like the biggest people that does
that's
like
what
sex
I'm trying
trafficking.
to think of.
I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
But he's like this big guy, like this bigger guy,
Yeah.
and
he's like that movie like almost I kind of crossed paths with him. I don't know which part, but
yeah. And like what he did was that I think he was the one that like did most of the trafficking.
Yeah.
And he's like one of those pimps, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But he had like hundreds and hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And she was like buddy. Like there's multiple pictures of them like not kissing, but like she's kissing his cheek.
Yeah.
And like she's hugging,
shit,
like smiling, so on and so forth.
Weird.
It's really weird.
You want to hear of a sketchy? Oh my god! So, the movie was really good. Obviously, lady getting up and crying, that was like crazy.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about the sketch stuff. Yeah.
But I saw this. So I was sitting down, right.
Mm-hmm.
To my left is my dad, who just in this. There's like a lot of moments in the movie where it's just kind of like quiet, simple talking, and I just hear him.
Him just breathing.
I'm like, bro, can you? I literally tap him. I was like, can you breathe any louder? Yeah. He's like, what? I'm breathing. I'm like, yeah, but like super fucking loud, dude. Yeah. And then the guy to the right of me, so fucking sketchy, bro. Like,
really?
So like he low key. I was like, I almost like looked at him. I was like, man, you
like,
fucking pedophile too?
Like, watch out, bro.
It was so weird. So here's the shit that low key like fucked me up with this kid or with this guy next to me. So it's me and my dad, empty chair, and then like a family of three, like two parents and their daughter, two daughters, whatever. I'm like, okay, fine. Seat in between us, cool. Then I see this fucking like, big fat, Mexican guy. He's like, and then he has like a gallon of water. I was like, you just get off like the fucking
like
construction site.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck? And then like bro damn near gets back from lunch from overnight or some shit. I don't know. And then he's like sitting down next to me. He's like talking during the movie at some points, but he's like loud. I'm like, can this guy like shut? Is he
talking to himself or like?
Yeah, he's just like, oh shit, like when he hears something like happening.
He's definitely high, bro. I'm telling you, he had to be high.
Yeah, I don't know, but I was just like, can you like shut the fuck?
Oh yeah, I know.
up?
Yeah.
And then. So here's the shit that like Loki fucked me up with this guy. So there's in one of the beginning scenes, or like the scene where you are introduced to Tim Ballard. Yeah. They raid this pedophile's house and they see like album or like documents and shit.
Yeah.
And you know how like you open up a folder to like a criminal and it's like their picture and like all this other
like the files. Yeah.
It was that, but of little kids.
Oh my god.
It was fucked, and you just keep turning pages and it's like just pictures of them like. Yeah. Going through the process, they're undressing and shit. It's so fucking weird. God. And this guy's like looking at it like all like fucking like
like freaked out.
Yeah, freaked out. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then, it might have been that scene or some other scene. I can't remember right now. But there was one scene where it was like new kids were being caught.
Yep.
And then he's like, oh, fresh chicken. And then later in the movie. The people in the fucking movie
said chicken
are using the word chicken for these kids.
Oh, so he said fresh chicken?
Yeah, like first.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man. So like he was just like he's like, damn, fresh chicken. And then later in the movie they're like, yeah, we want about 50 to 60 chickens at this, place we're building. And then I was like,
what?
And as soon as they said that in the movie, I low-key looked at this dude. I was like,
oh my god.
I was like, what the fuck did you say like an hour ago, bro?
Yeah.
Like that shit low-key freaked me out, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, who the fuck? I'm literally about to call the cops on you, bro. Yeah. Like if you don't get the fuck out of here, I'll literally, notify law enforcement.
Right.
On you, bro. I swear to God. Head edge.
So head edge. Boy, I got some bumbo clat.
Y'all ladies all right?
Okay, so like the child trafficking stuff, it happens here too. Like I don't know if you understand how close, like it happens at the mall. I remember talking. I think we were talking about
probably
this.
happens in our neighborhood.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing. I remember I was talking about this a while back, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We were talking about like how they do the Marco Polo tactic.
That, and do you want to know another thing? This has been going around. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Oh yeah, go ahead.
so I don't know if you've seen signs.
I was about to talk about that, like
um,
the mattress signs, use mattresses.
like, brand new mattress and then the phone number.
Yep.
And that is used a lot for sex trafficking, which is nuts.
So what they do is, so the Marco Polo tactic is, if they see a chicken, for example,
Yeah.
like let's say I'm 12 years old, right? I'm a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I'm walking around the mall like by myself. That's also why they implemented like you have to be 17 or older to be by yourself.
Right.
But so like pretend I'm a 12-year-old girl at the mall walking around. Like let's say I'm at JCPenney or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see like it's usually primarily a couple that does it.
Yeah.
Like a husband and a wife, boyfriend, girlfriend thing. So what they do is they'll be like pretending like they're shopping, and you'll hear Marco,
Yep.
which means that they just tagged you.
Mm-hmm.
Polo means that you just got confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hear Marco, which sucks because we have a friend named Marco. So
Yeah.
I remember us talking about this, but yeah. So like usually they'll just be like they'll have like a headpiece in, or like they'll be on the phone saying Marco or something.
Yeah.
But they'll be like Marco Polo.
Mm-hmm.
They just tagged you.
Mm-hmm.
So now what they're doing, like no matter how long you stay at that mall, they're just tagging you, which means they're just trailing you this whole time until you leave.
Yeah.
And as soon as you leave, or like as soon as you're about to leave, that's when they get you.
Yeah.
And how they get you is that they'll while you're going to the bathroom or something, like where it's like super secluded, like a bathroom, side aisles like by the food area,
Right.
or like the main entrance and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they'll grab you, and then like they'll hold you like they're like you're their kid, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And you can't even freak out because they do this tactic or something like that where it looks like they're just yelling at you or something.
Mm-hmm.
Where it makes it just look like, oh, they're just yelling at their 12-year-old daughter or whatever.
Yeah.
So now when they do this, now you'll see, I've seen this happen. Like I haven't seen this firsthand, but I remember someone telling me that they've seen this firsthand of a certain couple they didn't have a kid, but they marked a kid, and they were driving around like the mall. And then like they saw these signs that said like, this is where I brought up the mattress for sale. Mm-hmm. So like in these signs they had in the back, they were like they had signs with the same number on them, and you can see them because they had like that white van, whatever. It wasn't even like those white vans, but it was like a passenger van.
Yeah.
And you can see inside, and you can see all these yard signs that say mattress for sale or like something for sale with the same phone number on it. And they keep driving around back and forth at the mall. This was like 2 years ago. I remember them telling me that.
That's fucked up.
And dude, it was just crazy because it's literally happening right over there.
Yeah, bro.
That's how like freaky this stuff is, bro.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, it's fucking, it's just sick, bro. It's just like, and you know what gets me even more, bro?
What?
I gotta be very careful. I'm gonna be very careful how I word this.
Okay.
Because I'll probably be looked at so differently by so many people who watch this.
Right.
By the way, we're at 53 minutes, so I'm gonna kind of be quick with this, but there's a site, I forgot what it's called. Mm-hmm. I can probably find it.
Yep.
It's in a video I saw like a while ago.
Yep.
But it pretty much supports the fact of older people being attracted to younger people.
Okay.
It's so fucked up because it's a site that supports like pretty much pedophilia.
What?
It like supports it as in it's a sexuality.
Oh, dude. This is going to be a whole different topic on a different episode, bro. I need to explain this. It's going to be like a 30-minute, 40-minute conversation. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We'll save that for the next episode.
Yeah, we'll save it for the next episode. Little sneak peek for we're recording.
As soon as you said website or like saying sexuality, bro, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a whole movement going on right now.
Yeah. And yeah, it's fucked. So I mean, we'll talk about that next episode.
Like we said, it's good. If you made it this far, it's spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Obviously you've already experienced the spoilers. Yeah. There'll probably be more tomorrow if we talk about Sound of Freedom a little bit more.
We're definitely gonna be talking about that sexuality thing, bro. Like it's huge.
Yeah, for sure.
Huge.
Yeah, for sure.
But stay safe.
But yeah, stay safe. Keep your eyes peeled.
If you hear Marco,
yeah, get
run.
the fuck out.
Yeah.
Unless you're with somebody named Marco, then you're fine,
Yeah.
I guess. But new
learn a
merch.
martial art.
Yeah, literally. New merch just dropped. 815 Racing shirt. I just caught me a pair, so
Yep.
fuck it.
Go ahead, buy yourself one.
It's hard. I like it.
Yep.
Cop the new merch. Link will be in the description.
Yep. Keep watching. Like, subscribe, comment.
Yes,
I
sir.
noticed that we actually gained more subscribers this week than any other week.
Really?
It's because of the post, I think.
Okay.
Like we had 3 new followers on Instagram and 4 new subscribers on YouTube. And our views were a lot higher. I looked at the analytics.
Yes, sir.
Our watch time was higher, our click rate was higher, and our views were a little bit higher.
Yeah. So keep that shit up, y'all.
Yep.
We'll be posting because we posted, that shit's been going up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be more on top of that. We've been slumped on that shit.
Oh yeah, yeah, we have.
Especially the post. We haven't posted since May. So
yeah.
we're like, fuck, we gotta post.
We're gonna try to have some guests on soon too. So
Yeah, we're still
keep your eyes peeled.
Yep, we're still looking for some motherfuckers.
So if you are trying to be a guest, hit us up at the 815 podcast on Instagram.
Yeah.
DM us. We will definitely try to figure something out.
Yes, sir. Be safe. Be productive.
Make sure to watch Oppenheimer.
Yes, sir. Watch Oppenheimer. Watch Sound of Freedom.
Sound of
for
Freedom,
Sure.
yeah.
Top 2 movies you guys should definitely see.
Screw Barbie.
Fuck Barbie. Fuck all them other movies.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Barbie tomorrow too, bro. There's like this whole feminist movement going on in that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll explain that tomorrow too.
Yeah, you'll have to talk to me because I have no
Yeah.
idea about that.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see you guys. I guess I don't know.
Well, it's gonna be next week, but
Yeah. We'll see you guys next week.
we'll talk about this tomorrow. But
Yeah.
yeah, peace.
Deuces.